You're trapped in a prison you built yourself. The bars, they're made of other people's opinions. The locks, they're your own fears. But here's the thing, you've got the key. You've always had it. It's time to use it. It's time to stop caring what people think of you. Think about it. How much of your life have you spent worrying about what others might say? How many dreams have you put on hold because you were afraid of being judged? How many times have you dimmed your light because you didn't want to outshine others? Too many, way too many. But it ends now. Today, this very moment. Because let me tell you something. Those people whose opinions you're so worried about, they're not thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. They're too busy worrying about their own lives, their own problems, their own insecurities. And even if they are judging you, so what? Their opinions don't pay your bills. Their thoughts don't determine your worth. Their judgments don't define who you are. You do. You define who you are. You determine your worth. You shape your life. But you can't do that if you're constantly looking over your shoulder, always second guessing yourself, forever trying to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. It's exhausting, isn't it? Always trying to please everyone, always worrying about what others might think. It's like carrying a heavy weight on your shoulders day in and day out. Well, it's time to put that weight down. It's time to stand up straight, to lift your chin, to look the world in the eye and say, this is me. Take it or leave it. Because here's the truth. When you stop caring what others think, you start living, really living. You start being true to yourself. You start chasing your dreams without fear. You start experiencing life in full color instead of the muted tones of other people's expectations. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Breaking free from the need for approval is tough. It's a habit, a mindset that's been ingrained in us since childhood. We're taught to seek validation, to conform, to fit in. But fitting in is overrated. Conformity is the enemy of greatness. The most successful, the most fulfilled people in this world, they didn't get there by following the crowd. They got there by being unapologetically themselves. So how do we do it? How do we break free from the chains of other people's opinions? It starts with self-awareness. You need to recognize when you're making decisions based on what others might think. Are you holding back from speaking your mind in a meeting because you're afraid of looking stupid? Are you not pursuing that passion project because your friends might laugh at you? Are you staying in a job you hate because leaving would disappoint your parents? Catch yourself in these moments. Recognize the fear for what it is, a barrier holding you back from your true potential. Then challenge that fear. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Really think about it. Most of the time, the consequences we imagine are far worse than anything that could actually happen. So you speak up in the meeting and someone disagrees with you. So what? So you start that passion project and it doesn't work out. At least you tried. So you change careers and some people don't understand. Their understanding isn't required for your happiness. Next, focus on your own opinion of yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's the only opinion that truly matters. Are you proud of who you are? Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you working towards your goals? If the answer is yes, then hold your head high. Be confident in your choices. Trust your own judgment. If the answer is no, then that's where your energy should go. Not into worrying about what others think, but into becoming the person you want to be, into living the life you want to live. Remember, you can't control what others think of you. You can bend over backwards, twist yourself into knots, and there will still be people who don't like you, who criticize you, who judge you. But you know what you can control? Your own actions, your own thoughts, your own life. So focus on that. Put your energy into being the best version of yourself, into pursuing your passions, into making a difference in the world. Because here's the irony. When you stop caring what others think and start living authentically, that's when people are most drawn to you. That's when you inspire others. That's when you make the biggest impact. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they're not the ones who are constantly seeking approval. They're the ones who are bold enough to be themselves, who have the courage to stand up for what they believe in, who aren't afraid to go against the grain. That could be you. That should be you. But it requires courage. The courage to be vulnerable, the courage to be different, the courage to face criticism and keep going anyway. It requires self-love, because when you truly love and accept yourself, other people's opinions lose their power over you. Their words can't hurt you when you're secure in who you are. It requires a shift in focus. Instead of worrying about what others think of you, Think about what you can offer the world. How can you make a difference? How can you add value? How can you leave your mark? When you're focused on giving, on creating, on contributing, you don't have time to worry about what others might be thinking. Now, I'm not saying you should completely disregard everyone's opinions. There's a difference between not caring what people think and not caring about people. Feedback from those who truly care about you, who want to see you succeed, can be valuable. But there's a big difference between considering someone's opinion and being controlled by it. Listen, evaluate, but always make your own decisions. And remember, not everyone's opinion should carry the same weight. The opinion of someone who knows you well, who understands your goals and values, is worth more than the opinion of a stranger or someone who's only interested in tearing you down. Choose carefully whose opinions you give power to. And even then, remember that you're the ultimate authority on your own life. Now, let's talk about social media, because in today's world, it's one of the biggest sources of external validation and external judgment. It's so easy to get caught up in the likes, the comments, the followers. But here's the thing, social media isn't real life. It's a highlight reel. It's a carefully curated version of reality. And basing your self-worth on social media metrics is a recipe for unhappiness. So use social media, but don't let it use you. Share what you want to share, but don't do it for the likes. Connect with people, but don't let the number of followers define your value. Remember, your worth isn't determined by your online popularity. It's determined by who you are, what you do, how you treat others, and the impact you make in the real world. Let's talk about failure, because one of the biggest reasons we care so much about what others think is the fear of failure. We're afraid of messing up, of looking foolish, of not meeting expectations. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person has failed probably more times than you can imagine. The difference is they didn't let the fear of what others might think stop them from trying again. So embrace failure. See it as a learning opportunity, a stepping stone to success. When you stop seeing failure as something to be ashamed of, you stop caring so much about what others might think when you don't succeed. Now, let's talk about comparison. In today's world, it's so easy to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. We see people's success on social media. We hear about our friends' accomplishments and we start to feel like we're falling behind. But here's the thing. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's timeline is different. What looks like success for someone else might not be what success looks like for you. So stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop worrying about whether you're keeping up with your peers. Focus on your own growth, your own progress, your own goals. Remember, the only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. As long as you're moving forward, as long as you're growing and learning, you're on the right track. Let's talk about authenticity. When you stop caring what others think, you give yourself permission to be truly, authentically you. And that's powerful. Think about it. How much energy do you spend trying to be what you think others want you to be? How often do you hold back your true thoughts, your true feelings, your true self because you're afraid of judgment? It's exhausting, isn't it? And it's not sustainable. Sooner or later, the mask slips, the real you shines through. So why not embrace it? Why not let your true self out from the start? Yes, it's scary. Yes, it makes you vulnerable, but it's also liberating. It's authentic. It's real. And here's the amazing thing. When you're authentic, you attract the right people into your life. People who appreciate you for who you really are, not for who you're pretending to be. People who support your dreams, who celebrate your quirks, who love you unconditionally. These are the relationships that truly matter. These are the connections that enrich your life. And you can only form these connections when you're being your true self. Now, let's talk about purpose. When you're clear on your purpose, on what you want to achieve in this life, other people's opinions start to matter less and less. Think about it. If you're passionate about making a difference in the world, if you're driven by a bigger purpose, are you really going to let someone's disapproval stop you? Are you going to let fear of judgment keep you from pursuing your calling? Of course not. Because when you're focused on your purpose, you don't have time to worry about what others think. You're too busy making things happen, creating change, leaving your mark on the world. So find your purpose. Connect with what truly matters to you. Let that be your guide, not the opinions of others. Let's talk about self-talk. The way you talk to yourself has a huge impact on how much you care about what others think. If your inner voice is constantly critical, constantly worried about judgment, it's going to be hard to break free from the need for approval. So start changing that inner dialogue. When you catch yourself worrying about others' opinions, challenge that thought, replace it with something empowering. Instead of what if they don't like me? Try I am enough just as I am. Build yourself up. Celebrate your strengths. Acknowledge your accomplishments. Be your own biggest cheerleader. Because when you truly believe in yourself, other people's opinions lose their power over you. Now let's talk about taking action. Because at the end of the day, the best way to stop caring what others think is to start doing. To start taking action towards your goals, your dreams, your vision for your life. When you're focused on doing, on creating, on achieving, you don't have time to worry about what others might be thinking. You're too busy making things happen. So what's that thing you've been putting off because you're afraid of what others might say? That dream you've been too scared to pursue? That change you've been wanting to make? Do it. Start now. Take that first step. Yes, it's scary. Yes, there's a risk of failure, of judgment, of criticism. But there's also the possibility of success, of fulfillment, of living life on your own terms. And isn't that worth the risk? Remember, at the end of your life, you're not going to regret the things you did, the chances you took, the dreams you pursued. You're going to regret the things you didn't do, the chances you didn't take, the dreams you were too afraid to chase. So stop letting fear hold you back. Stop letting other people's opinions dictate your life. Start, because here's the truth. You have one life, one chance to make your mark on this world, one opportunity to live out your dreams, to become the person you're meant to be. Are you really going to let that opportunity slip by because you're worried about what others might think? No, not anymore. Starting today, you're going to live life on your own terms. You're going to be unapologetically you. You're going to chase your dreams without fear. Because when you stop caring what people think of you, that's when you start truly living. That's when you start making a real difference in the world. That's when you start becoming the best version of yourself. So let go of the need for approval. Break free from the chains of other people's expectation. Stand tall in who you are, in what you believe, in what you want to achieve. The world doesn't need another copy. The world needs you, the real you, the authentic you, the you that's been hiding behind the mask of other people's expectations. It's time to take off that mask. It's time to show the world who you really are. It's time to live life on your own terms because you are unique. You are valuable. You are enough just as you are. And when you truly believe that, when you live from that place of self-acceptance and self-love, you become unstoppable. You become capable of achieving things you never thought possible. You become the kind of person who inspires others, who makes a real difference in the world. So go out there and be you, boldly, bravely, unapologetically you. Chase your dreams, speak your truth, live your life. Because at the end of the day, the only opinion that truly matters is your own. And when you're proud of who you are and how you're living your life, that's all the validation you need. Remember, every great achievement in history was accomplished by someone who dared to be different, who wasn't afraid to go against the grain, who had the courage to be themselves in a world that was trying to make them like everyone else. You have that same potential within you. You have the power to create, to innovate, to make a difference. But it all starts with letting go of what others think and embracing who you truly are. So embrace that power, cultivate it, let it guide you towards your goals, your dreams, your best self. Because when you stop caring what others think and start living authentically, there's nothing you can't achieve. There's no limit to what you can become. There's no dream too big, no goal too far out of reach. So what are you waiting for? The time is now. Your life is waiting. Go out there and make it amazing. Remember, you are the author of your own story. You are the architect of your own life. You have the power to shape your destiny. So take that power, use it. Let it drive you forward. Let it lift you up. Let it transform you into the person you've always known you could be. Because when you stop caring what others think, when you trust in your own judgment, when you believe in your own worth, that's when the magic happens. That's when you truly start living life on your own terms. So go forth with confidence. Embrace your uniqueness. Commit to being unapologetically you. Your future starts now. Your potential is limitless, and it's all in your hands. Believe in yourself, trust yourself, be yourself, and watch as you create a life beyond your wildest dreams. The power's in your hands. It's always been there waiting for you to grab it. So seize it now. Let go of the fear, the doubt, the need for approval. Embrace your uniqueness, your quirks, your passions. They're not flaws to be hidden. They're gifts to be shared with the world. Think about the people who made a real impact in history. They weren't the ones who played it safe, who worried about fitting in. They were the ones who dared to be different, who had the courage to stand out, who weren't afraid to ruffle a few feathers along the way. That's the kind of person you can be. That's the kind of life you can lead. But it starts with a choice to stop letting others' opinions control you, a choice to start living on your own terms. It's not going to be easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments of fear. There will be people who don't understand, who criticize, who try to bring you down. But that's okay. Their reactions say more about them than they do about you. Remember, not everyone will like you, and that's fine. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to be true to yourself, to make your unique mark on the world. The right people, the ones who truly matter, will appreciate you for who you really are. So start small. Take one step today towards being more authentically you. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting when you usually stay quiet. Maybe it's wearing that outfit you love but have been too scared to put on. Maybe it's finally starting that project you've been dreaming about. Whatever it is, do it. And then do something else tomorrow. And the day after that, build momentum. Let each small act of authenticity fuel the next. As you do this, you'll start to notice something amazing. The world doesn't end. People don't point and laugh. In fact, most people are too caught up in their own lives to even notice. And the ones who do, many of them will admire your courage, your authenticity. And here's the real magic. As you become more authentically you, you'll start attracting the right people into your life. People who get you, who support you, who inspire you to be even more yourself. These are the relationships that will truly enrich your life. You'll also start to feel a sense of freedom you've never experienced before. The freedom to be yourself without apology. The freedom to pursue your dreams without fear. The freedom to live life on your own terms. This freedom, it's addictive. Once you get a taste of it, you wonder how you ever lived any other way. You look back at the person you used to be, the one who was always worried about what others thought, and you'll barely recognize them. But don't judge that old version of yourself. Thank them. Thank them for protecting you, for trying to keep you safe, and then let them go because you don't need that protection anymore. You're strong enough now to handle whatever comes your way. As you embrace your authentic self, you'll find that your confidence grows, not the kind of confidence that comes from others' approval, but the kind that comes from within, the kind that can't be shaken by criticism or setbacks. This confidence will spill over into every area of your life. You'll take more risks. You'll speak your mind more freely. You'll go after what you want without hesitation. And even when things don't work out, you bounce back faster because you know your worth isn't determined by your successes or failures. You'll also find that your relationships improve. When you're not constantly worrying about what others think, you can be more present, more genuine in your interactions. You can form deeper connections, have more meaningful conversations, build stronger bonds. Your work will too. When you're not wasting energy trying to fit in or meet others' expectations, you can focus that energy on being creative, on solving problems, on making a real impact. You might even find the courage to pursue that career you've always dreamed of, but were too afraid. And here's something else. As you stop caring what others think, you'll naturally start to judge others less too. You'll become more accepting, more understanding of others' quirks and differences. This will make you a better friend, a better colleague, a better person overall. You'll also find that you have more energy. It takes a lot of effort to constantly monitor yourself, to always be on guard against judgment. When you let that go, you free up so much mental and emotional energy, energy you can use to pursue your passions, to help others, to enjoy life. Speaking of enjoying life, that's perhaps the biggest benefit of all. When you stop caring what others think, you can truly start living. You can laugh without worrying if your laugh is too loud. You can dance without caring if you look silly. You can try new things without fear of failure. You'll start to see opportunities everywhere, opportunities to learn, to grow, to experience life to its fullest. And you'll have the courage to seize these opportunities, to make the most of every moment. You'll also find that your stress levels decrease. So much of our stress comes from trying to meet others' expectations, from worrying about what people might think, When you let that go, you'll feel a weight lift off your shoulders. You'll breathe easier. You'll sleep better. And as your stress decreases, your health improves, both your physical and mental health. You'll likely find that you have fewer headaches, less tension in your body. You might even find that chronic health issues start to improve. Your mental health will flourish too. Depression and anxiety often feed on the fear of judgment, on the need for approval. When you let go of that need, when you accept yourself fully, you create a strong foundation for good mental health. You'll also find that you become more resilient. When your self-worth isn't dependent on others' opinions, setbacks and criticisms don't hit as hard. You can face challenges with a clear head, knowing that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. This resilience will serve you well in all areas of life, in your career, in your relationships, in your personal growth. You'll be able to weather storms that would have knocked you down before. You'll also become more adaptable. When you're not tied to others' expectations, you can more easily adjust to new situations, new environments. You can reinvent yourself as needed without worrying about what others might think of the change. This adaptability is crucial in today's fast-paced world. It will help you stay relevant, stay ahead of the curve, stay successful no matter what life throws your way. You'll also find that you become more creative. Creativity thrives on authenticity, on the freedom to express yourself without fear of judgment. As you embrace your true self, you'll likely find new ideas flowing, new solutions presenting themselves, new ways of looking at the world emerging. This creativity can enhance every area of your life. It can help you solve problems at work, come up with new ideas for your business, find innovative ways to connect with your loved ones, discover new hobbies and passions. And speaking of passions, as you stop caring what others think, you'll find it easier to pursue your true passions. Those things you've always wanted to do but were too afraid to try. Those dreams you've kept hidden for fear of ridicule. You can finally bring them out into the light. Give them the attention they deserve. You might start that business you've been dreaming about. You might write that book that's been brewing inside you. You might take up that hobby that always intrigued you but seemed too weird or unconventional. As you pursue these passions, you'll find a sense of fulfillment you've never experienced before. The kind of fulfillment that comes from living true to yourself, from doing what you love without fear or hesitation. You'll also find that your decision-making improves. When you're not constantly second-guessing yourself, when you're not always worried about what others might think, you can make decisions more quickly and confidently. You can trust your gut, follow your instincts. This improved decision-making will serve you well in all areas of life. From big life choices to small daily decisions, you'll be able to move forward with clarity and confidence. You also find that you become a better leader, whether in your career, in your community, or in your family. Authentic leadership is powerful. When you're not afraid to be yourself, when you're confident in your own skin, others naturally want to follow you. You'll inspire others to be their authentic selves too. Your courage will give them courage. Your freedom will show them what's possible. You'll become a beacon of authenticity in a world that often values conformity. And as you inspire others, you'll find that your own sense of purpose grows. You realize that by being true to yourself, you're not just improving your own life, you're making a positive impact on the world around you. You'll start to see that your uniqueness, the very things you might have tried to hide before, are actually your greatest strengths. They're what make you valuable, what allow you to contribute in ways that no one else can. And as you embrace these strengths, as you let your light shine without dimming it for others' comfort, you'll find that your impact grows. You'll make a difference in ways you never imagined possible. You'll also find that your sense of gratitude deepens when you're living authentically, when you're free from the constant worry of others' opinions. You can more fully appreciate the good things in your life. You can be present in the moment, truly enjoy your experiences. This gratitude will further enhance your happiness, your relationships, your overall well-being. It will create a positive cycle where your authenticity leads to gratitude, which leads to more positive experiences, which reinforces your commitment to being your true self. And perhaps most importantly, you'll find that you like yourself more. When you stop trying to be what you think others want you to be, when you embrace all aspects of yourself, the good, the bad, the quirky, you'll develop a deep sense of self-love and self-acceptance. This self-love is the foundation for everything else. It's what will give you the strength to stay true to yourself even when it's difficult. It's what will allow you to treat yourself with kindness and compassion. It's what will enable you to live a life that's truly fulfilling. So embrace your authentic self. Let go of the need for others' approval. Live life on your own terms. Because when you do, you open the door to a life of freedom, fulfillment, and true happiness. A life where you can look in the mirror and be proud of the person looking back at you. A life where you can go to bed each night knowing you've been true to yourself and wake up each morning excited for what the day might bring. This is the power of not caring what others think. This is the gift you give yourself when you choose authenticity over approval. This is the life that's waiting for you if you have the courage to claim it. So what are you waiting for? The time is now. Your authentic life is calling. Answer it, embrace it, live it, because you deserve nothing less than a life lived true to yourself. A life where you can say with pride and joy, this is me. This is my life, and I love every bit of it.